The young Calgary Flames team proved themselves worthy of a playoff experience last night after outlasting the Vancouver Canucks in Game 1, taking the game 2-1, after a thrilling goal in the final 30 seconds of the game. Expert NHL odds analyst Dave Golikoff is back with us today to talk over his picks on the Game 2 set for late game on Friday night. Now, Dave, this Flames team is really inexperienced when it comes to the playoffs. They're very young, but I think they're pretty lucky to have their veteran goaltender, Jonas Hiller, who was the experienced one holding them down last night in their game. Dave, explain to us a little bit about what needs to happen outside this excellent play and goal for the Calgary Flames team to seal another win in Game 2.
Well, I think it's actually got to be him. I think Hiller has got to be sort of the root of their success. There's a young team, inexperienced. Hiller's been in the playoffs, I think 22 or 23 games, and before the series, 22 or 23 postseason games. So he's their experience, and a lot of these guys, it's new to them. I don't think the Flames have been in the playoffs for, I'm trying to remember, it's been a really long time. So he's really the key in terms of settling things down and keeping them into the game as they sort of find their feet. And we saw that in Game 1 as the Flames were down 1-0. You know, could have been worse. At many times, could have been 2-0 or worse. And for a young team, that's really a big difference. So he kept them in it. Then they managed to keep fighting, tie the game in the third, and then kind of get, maybe a fluky goal in the dying moments of the period to steal the game. So it's got to be Hiller. Like, they're back on the road. They're going to face a ferocious opponent who's, this is going to be their best punch. They can't afford to go down 2-0 to Calgary with the series flipping over to Calgary after that. So Hiller's got to be the guy. If anything else has to change, their offense needs to be a little bit better. Obviously, 2 goals. One goal was quality. The other was just kind of throwing the puck at the net. They need to find a way through. I guess it's going to be Eddie Lack, but they need to find a way to provide Hiller with more offense, because I don't think he's going to allow 1 goal or less this entire series.
All right, but let's talk about Vancouver a little bit here too. They fell short here in Game 1, couldn't get past Hiller, as we've already mentioned before. What can we expect from them in this Game 2, Dave?
I think they're going to throw everything, including the kitchen sink, at the Flames, and including the appliances, the Vitamix, the juicer. This is it for Vancouver. I know that it seems like they were the favorite going into the series. It seems like Calgary's inexperienced and young and all this and that, but anytime the team that's favored, anytime you get swept on your home ice, your chances of winning the series are virtually 0. So Vancouver can't afford that happening. They need to get at least a split, and I think they're going to play like that. I think Calgary, we talked about Calgary in the previous video for Game 1. They weren't really shocked by the playoff type atmosphere. They actually played a lot of tight, close games down the stretch of the season, coming from behind. I mean, that's their signature this year. So they were really comfortable, and I think Vancouver was actually the team that was nervous. They didn't play consistently throughout that game in the second period. So they basically took that period off. Had the lead, didn't really put the pedal to the metal. Just did a lot of things that I don't think is very characteristic of them. So I think in this game, you're going to see a much stronger effort from them, more shots on Hiller, getting in front of his face a lot more, generating more penalties, doing more with those power plays. I think this is going to be the effort from Vancouver, and it just remains to be seen whether Calgary can handle that.
All right, now Dave, you went for an over in Game 1 of this series, which actually resulted in an under, but I read up on your article already this morning, and you're taking the over again in Game 2. Break this down for me, Dave. Why are you risking this over here for Friday night's game?
I'm a creature of habit. I eat at the same restaurants. I do the same things over and over again. But no, seriously, in this one, I'm kind of split here. I would recommend Vancouver if the line drops a little bit. I would say -145 is my cutoff. I think they can win, but I think they will win. Not only can they win, but I think they will win for sure. I think it's a pretty solid play. But I just, I think the situation in net is a bit of a concern. Do they flip to Ryan Miller? Is it Eddie Lack again? They've lost a lot of actually games at home in the playoffs. This now makes 7 straight losses at home in the playoffs, 10 of 11. So I know it seems like a 5-cent difference. I'm being like Scrooge here and saying like the cutoff's minus 145 and the line's at minus 150. But there's just some things that concern me about laying any more juice with Vancouver. So that being the case, if the line doesn't come down, I do like the over. I think this is going to be a much more free-flowing game. Vancouver needs to get their offense going. The Flames, I think, will get to at least a couple of goals. So if we get a couple goals on each side, we at least get a push. I just can't see Vancouver throwing everything they have at Calgary and getting, less than 2 goals. So I think we're getting an over in this one and probably a Vancouver win.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, once again, Dave Golikoff with your best NHL pick for Game 2 of the Flames versus Canucks series. Now, Dave also nailed a pick with Game 1 of the Blackhawks versus Predators match last night, and he's giving another free pick on Game 2 of that matchup, which you can find in the links below of this video. And hey, if you think you can challenge Dave with your own picks, or you have a question or a comment for us, give us a shout out below this video, tweet at us at SBR Sports Picks, find us on Facebook at Sportsbook Review, and definitely don't miss out on all the best NHL picks for the Stanley Cup playoffs you can only get right here with us at SBRpicks.com.